today.
Hi guys, so today I am going to attempt a Winifred Sanderson look from the movie Hocus Pocus. This is part of a collaboration I'm doing with some other amazing lady artists. We're doing witches, and I am such a fan of Hocus Pocus. It's one of my favorite movies. I can watch it with my kids. It's fun, it's colorful, I love it. And I love Bette Midler. Always have since I was young. My mom used to watch her movies and listen to her music, and I just adore her. So Winifred is who I will become. Kind of attempted a wig, and you know, I'm all about working with what you got. So I knew my daughter had a Merida wig, which hopefully will fit my head. So I stole it and did my best to kind of recreate Winifred's hair. We'll see how that works out.
I'm going to paint on her clothes, and it's freezing right now, so I'm going to start with my face because it's too cold to take off my mask.
So first off, I'm going to get rid of my eyebrows. Alright, so getting rid of eyebrows. This is always tricky. It takes practice. I still haven't perfected it. But this is what I do. I got an organic glue stick, which I like a lot. And then I rub it over one coat, brush them out, and then let that dry and go over another coat. And then I went even further after they dried completely. And I took a spatula and I smoothed a nice thick coat over to make sure there was no little hairs sticking up or lumps or anything, to try to get nice and smooth coverage. And my eyebrows are very dark, so this is a challenge for me. I put the Urban Decay Eye Primer Potion over them to start covering them. I'm also using it around my eyes and such. All my videos start off with a naked face, so I usually have to go in and add a few things. And then I'm using the Rimmel Stay Matte Foundation, which I use a lot for these kind of things. It's a very heavy foundation, and it really does the trick for covering up those dark eyebrows. It's not too expensive. You can buy it at the drugstore. I powder in between. Now I'm going to go ahead, and because this foundation is so crazy thick, I have to do my whole face in it to make it all even. And it's nice and light. I think it worked well for her skin. So I just went over with a foundation brush and put a light layer. You don't have to put very much because it covers very fast. I'm going to have to wash my face 3 times to get all this off. Now I'm going over with a second coat of the same foundation in a really thick coat, and I'm just dabbing it onto the eyebrow, making it smooth, but trying not to rub it too much. I just want to cover the darkest spots and fill in any little cracks there might be. And let that dry, fix up the neck a little bit more, make sure it's all smooth. I'm going to powder in between with the e.l.f. High Definition Powder. Make sure it's all nice and dry and staying put. I don't want those eyebrows to move around at all. Alright, so this is my my photo that I'm working from. Oh, you know, I have to have my coffee. I'm just going straight from the photo and doing my best to recreate her makeup. I'm starting with her really bright rosy cheeks. I used kind of a coral eyeshadow. And I believe this is a Makeup For You palette. It doesn't actually have a name on it, but the brushes that I got as a gift with it are Makeup For You, so it might also be Makeup For You. And I actually really like it. It's a very low-cost eyeshadow, if that's the brand name. It was a gift, so I'm not sure. And the eyeshadows are nice and pigmented, and there's a ton of colors, so it's really fun to play with. Now I'm going in and taking a brown with a tiny bit of a red color to it, and I'm going in underneath the eyebrow, not right below the eyebrow, but just a little bit lower than the eyebrow would be. And brushing that in there, smoothing it out a little bit, but I'm not overly blending it because her makeup's kind of choppy and kind of messy. So it's almost like a little bit trashy almost. Now I'm going in with a brown eyeliner. This is a dark brown e.l.f. eyeliner, very cheap, not, you know, easy to get, easy to use. I actually like pencil eyeliners. I like that they're a little bit unpredictable as you wear them, and they kind of melt into your skin a little bit, as long as you don't go crazy with it. I can use a brush and smooth them out, and so yeah, I use them a lot. And then I'm going across the top as well. So I go on the outside of the eyebrow, I'm tight lining on the outside of the eyelashes, right into the lash line, but I don't want to fill in my waterline. Now I'm going in and I'm contouring the head a little bit, contoured my nose and my cheekbones with a dark brown eyeshadow, matte, make sure it's a matte eyeshadow, going underneath the jawline, and I'm going to blend that really well. I'm not going too crazy with it. I'm also going to go in and make my chin stand out a bit more with it. So I went really fast, but I did the sides of the nose as well. Now I am taking my green Marron body paint from the Paradise palette A and a very fine brush, and I'm just kind of outlining where I want the clothes to be. And this is, I'm using the lightest color that I'm going to be using because if I change it at all, I'll be able to cover it right up. Now I'm going with black and I'm filling in where the collar is going to be in the back. I'm just doing this on the back of the neck because I want it to be very dark back there. Taking that same light green from the Marron palette and filling in pieces of the clothing. Basically, I'm starting to block it out. This is the darker green from the same palette. And I'm working from the picture, so as long as you have a picture to work from, I just started copying it and doing my best to recreate her clothes. So I was in a super big rush. I didn't have very much time to do this paint, and I wish I'd had more time because I really loved it. It was so much fun. So these would have come out much nicer, even better if I'd had a stencil. But I'm just painting in some rose type shapes. It's supposed to look like it's on her velvet. I believe her coat is like a velvety crushed velvet or burnt velvet. So I want these to look like they're burnt into the velvet. So I'm going in with white first and painting in the roses where I want them. And like I said, I did this very messy. I just, really quickly did my best to recreate what I was looking at. So I'm sure if you have more time, you can get very creative and make this look very pretty and detailed. So I took it down pretty low because I don't like my my paint to show the cutoff in my pictures. Now I'm going in with the dark green again, and I am filling around all the roses with a smaller brush. And like I said, it's messy. It's gonna be, we're gonna go in and shade and make it look kind of dirty because they are 300 years old. So we want to just fill it in nicely, and then take a bigger brush and you can fill around the edges. And is it weird that I would rather wear body paint than clothes? I mean, is that strange? Now let's see, I'm going to fill in the center with purple. This is going to be where the corset-like ribbons are going to be. I really like this color purple. I think I want to dye my hair this color. Next video, my hair will be purple. Better than a blow dryer. Now I'm going in just putting one green, the light colored green highlight here. It kind of is supposed to stick off her shoulder a little bit. So just a strip a little wider at the top than at the bottom. Now I'm making ruffles, and I wasn't really sure how I was going to do this, and it turned out really good. I really liked how it turned out. So I just took about an inch wide brush, and as you can see, I'm doing kind of a wavy motion, making an uneven line at the top to make the ruffles, to make that ruffly effect. And then we'll go back in and shade it a little bit in a little while.
Look in the camera.
Oh, this is my daughter.
Alright, let me finish.
My daughter's always going to make a cameo. So now I'm just going in and making the lines between each color nice. Then I'm taking a black eyeshadow and a fluffy eyeshadow brush, and I'm dingying up the purple right now. I kind of leave it lighter toward the center, and I'm also going to go in with a shimmery purple colored eyeshadow to kind of add that iridescent look that some velvets have. So that's what I'm doing here. I'm using that purple color. Now I'm going in with the white and a fine brush to draw on my laces. And these laces weren't super complicated, very simple lines basically. I took a couple coats because of the eyeshadow mixing with the paint. So by the second coat it was white. And I just went in and crossed them, made it, very simple. Simple little corset stitch. Didn't have to do any eyelets or anything for this one, so that was easy. Just make sure that you let the coats dry in between, otherwise your paint will just move around. There we go. And then I went ahead and took it down a third cross, like half of a cross down there, just in case the picture's cut down low. This is mainly just for pictures, so you can see I only do the front half. If I was doing it on a model, I would totally do it all the way around. It'd be so much fun. Now I'm taking that black eyeshadow and I'm darkening in edges where the colors meet. It would be where fabric's overlapping. I'm dinging up the green now. And I'm going to do the same thing with green later. I'm going to take in a shimmery green eyeshadow and highlight it a bit. So I'm just having fun with this black eyeshadow because these, like I've said, they are 300 years old and their clothes would be dingy-ish. So they'd be kind of dirty and old. So I'm going in and just having fun, making my edges around the collar. But what's nice about this is that it doesn't have to be a perfect line or anything. It's shadowy. And I'm just adding a little bit of definition in my collarbone. So here's where I added the shadows to the ruffles, and I just found areas where it might be folded and added a little bit of black eyeshadow. And it worked so well, I was really happy. Now I'm going to go in and add the little gold beads that go up along her collar. I started out with the tip of a fine brush, but it wasn't quite big enough. It was just a little too small. So in a second here I want to flipping my brush around. There we go. I flipped it around and I'm using the back side of the same brush and just dotting it into the wet paint and then dotting it on. But you have to dot very lightly because if you push too hard it'll get too fat. The beads will be too thick. So I went up and you can see I curved out to the side. That's where the collar is going to be when I define it. Go up both sides. It's a really nice method for making beads. Now I'm taking that black eyeshadow again and I'm shadowing under where the collar will be and kind of starting to define where the collar is going to be folded out. Collar didn't quite turn out how I wanted it. I kind of forgot that I was going to be doing it while I was painting and didn't plan it as well as I should have. But next time I will. So I did the collar darker and then left the under bit lighter green. So I shaded in the collar part with the eyeshadow, the black eyeshadow. And shaded up all the back of my neck to kind of blend it because it's going to be dark back there. It's still green, but it's just really dark. Now I'm taking a fine brush with black paint and just lightly defining that collar. Very, very fine. And this is that shimmery green eyeshadow I was telling you about. Just going over the light colored greens with it to make them a little shiny. And now I'm just going to paint my sleeves on the dark green, painting them down the arm. And I was surprised. Normally when I paint my arms or anywhere near my underarm area, it stains so bad it takes me like 2 days to get it all off. But the green didn't seem to stain too bad. That was nice. And now I'm going in with the black eyeshadow. You can see there's little parts there under the arm that I didn't fill in yet, but I go in later and fill it in a little bit. So shading up the arm. Got my sexy hair, whatever you would call it, stocking on my head. And now I'm just painting in with the dark red from the Maron palette, painting in the lip, and I covered my lips with the foundation, and I'm painting a very small lip, but it comes up very high. Taking the white, and I'm putting in where the teeth are going to be before I finish filling in the red on the bottom. And I was in such a hurry, I didn't get to do the teeth the way I would really have liked, but they're okay. Now I'm going with the black body paint and just putting a little bit of a line in between the teeth to define them. And make sure you do your teeth last. I actually forgot to do my necklace, which I'm going to start doing now. That's the yellow body paint from the Maron palette. But I should have done my lips after because every time I touched my lips I kept messing up my teeth. So I just went straight from the picture and drew in the necklace. I drew in the gold parts first with the yellow. And I had intended to go back over with the wolf metallic gold paint, but I didn't have time, so I just left it with the yellow. And just go in, draw it in, and then I took that same purple to match my dress and filled in where the little beads would be. And I really like drawing on painting on jewelry. It's so fun. Took the black paint in a very fine brush and lightly lined the bottom edge of the necklace. Just the bottom edge. We're going to try and give it a little bit of a 3D effect. And just make sure your lines are nice and fine. If you go too thick, it will kill the effect. And then I'm going in with an eyeshadow brush and the black eyeshadow and giving myself a little bit of a shadow. Nothing crazy, nothing too thick, because it is laying right against the skin, so there wouldn't be a ton of a shadow underneath. It wouldn't be very wide. And that's all there is, guys. I hope you like it. Please like and subscribe and comment.
My name's Winifred. What's yours? I put a spell on you, and now you're gone. My honey fell on you, and it was strong. So strong. Your wretched little life have all been cursed because of all the witches working. And the worst, I put a spell on you, and now you're mine. What's up? If you don't believe, you better get superstitious.
Mom, Dad, thank God. Hey, Max, great show. Cover your ears.
I put a spell on you.